mission. It was around the end of 1979 and the beginning of 1980 that Joy Division were touring around Europe and had planned a US tour at the midpoint of 1980. But during that, they were also recording songs for their second LP. And a track from that I'm going to play now. The LP was Closer, and there'll be a bit more information just after the song. This is a pretty brooding one called Heart and Soul. You're listening to Parallel Sounds on Swar FM 99.9. was just in the early part of 1980, just as Joy Division were on the cusp of great success and their tour in the US, and just before the release of their LP Unknown Pleasures was when the lead singer Ian Curtis, who had been suffering from epilepsy, had taken his life early one morning. A sad time for Joy Division, but they managed to release a single just after that, which most people would recognise as Joy Division, and it's played everywhere pretty much. A fan favourite and a very fitting end to the life of Ian Curtis. This is Joy Division now with Love Will Tear Us Apart. Listening to Parallel Sounds here on Swar FM 99.9, charting the musical evolution of Joy Division into New Order. In 1980, after Ian Curtis had passed away and committed suicide, the remaining band members were left not sure of what to do. They had actually made a pact when they'd started that if any member of the band was to leave, they would not continue on under the name Joy Division. So they were stuck with some material still to do. Some leftover lyrics from Ian Curtis and music from the band, and not quite sure where to go from there. We've got one little remnant from the Joy Division era before we move on to New Order, and this was a rehearsal session in Manchester in 1980, less than 2 weeks before the lead singer had passed away. It's a song that was redone as well by New Order, but I'll always consider it a Joy Division song. This one is Ceremony. and one of the last ever recordings of Ian Curtis with Joy Division. It was just after the passing in 1981 that the remaining members decided to continue going on with music.